What's going on, everybody? Welcome to today's YouTube video. We got a little bit of a full day of eating, not a little bit, a full day of eating on the cleanup diet. So you guys saw I went to Charleston with Katie for about 5 days. I will say, definitely ate a lot, enjoyed myself, had a nice vacation. And that's definitely something I recommend. If you go on vacation, don't stress too much. Unless you go on vacation like every single month, most people aren't, maybe they go on vacation once or twice a year, enjoy yourself. You're not gonna do too much damage as long as you're not doing a 10,000 calorie challenge every day for 7 days straight, you're gonna be okay. So we came back into town, you guys saw the grocery haul as well, and now it's a full day of eating that grocery haul, right around 2,000 calories, which is a cleanup diet or a deficit for myself to lose some of the water weight as well as maybe a little bit of fat I added during the 5 days of Charleston. Already my weight has gone from 169 all the way down to 166 in just 2 days, which shows is mostly water weight. You're not gaining much fat. Unfortunately, you're also not gaining muscle. It is just mostly water weight. So basically this week is just a cleanup diet, getting back down to right around 165 where I was before I left for Charleston, rather than staying up at 169, 170 post Charleston. So I'll show you guys a full day of eating. Just want to let you guys know, first thing all we're gonna do, we took our morning supplements. I have a bunch of water right here. We're gonna go for our morning walk, and it is cold here in Cincinnati. So we have our pants on, our hoodie, because it unfortunately is a little bit cold in the morning. I think I looked up, it was like 50 degrees right now. So we're gonna go get our morning walk in, come back, and I'll show you guys what breakfast is and the rest of the meals throughout the day using the groceries we got, around 2,000 calories and a minimum of 160 grams of protein. We made it back from our morning walk. Let's see, I think probably around 2,800 steps, 2,800. And that's pretty typical. It's basically probably like a quarter mile out, quarter mile back, something like that. But we're gonna go ahead and make our breakfast. Also, as much as I do like fall weather, I also get sad that it starts to get cold in the morning and it's trying to kind of transitioning. Like I said, it's like 50 degrees. Luckily it is, let's see, already up to, well, it says 50 degrees. So still a bit chilly out. That's why we had the sweatshirt as well as the sweatpants on this morning. Today we're gonna be making 6 eggs. But yeah, as far as the temperature, I think coming from Charleston also doesn't help, because in Charleston it was definitely probably like 65, 70 degrees in the morning. Coming back to Cincinnati, it's already colder, and Katie's up in Cleveland right now, and apparently there it's even colder than Cincinnati. So fall is coming up very quickly, which yeah, I'm kind of happy and sad about, because I love the warm weather this summer, but also the fall vibes are fantastic. But we're gonna be having 6 eggs. That's breakfast. 6 whole eggs. Keep it simple. That's one thing I found in terms of what I have found great success with, as well as many of my clients, is to keep things simple. And no, I'm not gonna argue with you and say 6 whole eggs taste better than donuts or cereal or some other very high sugar, high fat content processed food. That's not the case. But as an adult, I think it's kind of our responsibility, well, not even our responsibility, your personal responsibility to eat like an adult. I think if you're simply just eating for taste alone, I mean, that's what kids do, right? When they don't have any understanding of the future, of delayed gratification, of the ramifications of their actions, they just eat whatever tastes good. But as an adult, I understand that if I just ate donuts and Twinkies and cereal that tasted good, yeah, it might taste good for 5 seconds, but then I'm gonna get fat, I'm gonna be out of shape, I'm not gonna feel good, I'm not gonna like how I look or how I feel. So I have to understand that, like, yeah, eating 6 eggs is not as fun or as tasty as Cinnabon and donuts and Cinnamon Toast Crunch and cake and ice cream, which I wanna eat. That sounds amazing, but I know the ramifications of doing that. So I have to make proper decisions, looking out for my future self, as well as understanding like what I'm putting in my body is how my body is going to respond, how we're gonna look, how we're gonna feel, how we're gonna move. So this morning, we're going with a little bit of grass-fed butter in the pan, making 6 eggs and then 2 kiwis. I'll show you guys the final product. We'll go over the macros as well. And just like that, breakfast is served. Super simple, super quick. Eggs, I like mine over easy, so it takes maybe about 3 minutes in total, like minute 30, flip it, minute 30. We have our 6 eggs right there, as well as our 2 kiwis over here, washed and rinsed. Then this is gonna go ahead, and if you like a runny egg yolk, I'm gonna do a little bit of food porn for you guys. If you don't, go ahead and just skip forward 10 seconds. But as you can see right here, let's see if I can get myself out of the camera so it focuses. We'll cut right into that guy. Yeah, that's what we like. Nice little runny yolk. So we got 6 eggs, 2 kiwis. This meal comes out to be 543 calories, 21 grams of carbs, 35 grams of fat, and 38 grams of protein. That's how we're gonna start our day. I'm not working out right away, so I don't really need many carbs in this actual meal. Obviously the kiwis do have some carbs, but I'm looking more so for something that's gonna be satiating in the morning to hold me over until later in the day. I'm not even sure if I'm gonna work out today, more so because I do currently have an inguinal hernia, so I'm kind of being very cautious about my training. I need to actually set up an appointment with a doctor to maybe get an ultrasound, confirm that, potentially have surgery. So there's some things where I might not be training as hard or as frequently as I would normally. So I'm definitely gonna be taking back the leg workouts potentially out completely. I'm gonna see how I can do upper body things if things are uncomfortable. If I can push, talk to the surgeon, see what he recommends. So not sure if I will work out today. I think technically I would have a pull workout, which I feel like I could probably do because most of that's gonna be seated stuff. I might just go a little bit lighter, but once again, this is just me a full day of eating video, so I'm not gonna show you guys any of like the workouts, just the meals, because I know the workouts sometimes take a little bit too much time. Those are for vlogs and other things. But yeah, without further ado, more water, kiwi, 6 eggs. That's meal number 1, breakfast. Quick update, this technically doesn't have any calories, but it's something I am going to be consuming today, so figured I'd include it in the full day of eating. We have 16 ounces of coffee in here. Big thing, as I mentioned in the past, where my apartment complex has a coffee maker out front. Unfortunately, it does get broken quite a bit because I think everyone in the apartment building uses it, but today it was not broken, so I got 16 ounces of black coffee right here to help me just kind of once again get a little bit of caffeine, wake up, something to sip on as I edit a video. Another big thing as far as I'll get sometimes questions about like, oh, like how do you make it work? Like, or you're a fitness influencer, it's easy to be healthy, but like honestly, I work essentially like a 9 to 5, if not sometimes more like 7 to 7. Like there are days where I literally don't leave my desk between editing videos, making content, doing check-ins, client calls, potential client calls, marketing strategies, all that kind of stuff. Like I truly work, I would say, at my desk more than the average 9 to 5 person. And yes, I do have a walking pad, which helps me get some steps in, but that is, I would say, like, I guess the one kind of special thing. Like I'm not going to an office, but I basically treat my career and job like I'm in that office. So that's why I'm so confident in like this sense of like I practice what I preach. I know this is possible. Once again, I don't have a family, but I've worked with lots of clients that do have families and they're still able to make amazing transformations and prioritize their health. But I'm just saying, like, once again, I wish I could be the person who just does 3 workouts a day. Like some of those influencers out there have hundreds of thousands of followers and don't have to actually do any coaching or marketing. They just have like probably have an editor, a videographer, and they just like live life and train. I wish I could do that. That sounds amazing, but that's not real life. So I want to show you guys like how it is possible and why I do these full days of eating is simply show like, yeah, I'm having 3 meals a day, sitting at my desk most of the day. I try to get my steps in throughout the day with a morning, evening, afternoon walk. And then I'll try to, once again, get a workout in probably 4 or 5 times a week. Like it is the basics on repeat that have the success that you're looking for, or I will get you to the place where you want to go. So it's the basics on repeat again and again and again. Anyone is capable of doing this. I'm very confident. Once again, unless you maybe have a disease or a disability, like those are obviously very special cases. I'm not talking about the extreme cases. I'm talking about the average person. It is 100% possible. So do not let yourself think that it's not. I think the biggest obstacle you need to overcome is your own mindset, and then the rest is easy. But the biggest thing there is, once again, I just want to show you guys what's possible as, I would say, once again, another average Joe who maybe has health and fitness as a career, but still has a very basic 9 to 5 kind of job setting where I'm at a desk pretty much all day. But yeah, without further ado, that is the quick update on the coffee. I'll see you guys potentially going to the gym in a couple hours. It is now around 11:30 and we're gonna have a quick snack. This is a banana, about 25 grams of carbs. I pretty much consider all bananas and apples I eat around the same size. I'm just call it 100 calories, 25 grams of carbs. So that's gonna be having a little pre-workout snack. And when I say workout, it's probably gonna be like a 25 to 30 minute pull session, just because once again, I do have the hernia, the inguinal hernia that I guess haven't been officially diagnosed with yet. My dad, who is an emergency room physician, did diagnose me or kind of said it's probably what it is, but I've not met with a general surgeon yet or anything like that. But I have seen online, you can still work out as long as you're not in pain, which I am not at all, no discomfort, anything like that. Just trying to keep things seated, keep things lighter, not push yourself, not exert yourself like on a squat, deadlift, things like that. So until I meet with that surgeon, I am gonna still train a little bit. This is not medical advice at all. That's probably the opposite, but I know I would just go crazy if I didn't, and also why I want the surgery sooner so I can get back to training quicker after the recovery. But I'm gonna have this banana, head down, probably do a quick, maybe 30, 35 minute pull session, just maybe some pull downs, maybe a seated row, and maybe some seated bicep curls. Basically everything seated, stable, trying to keep any sort of pressure off the hernia and still allow myself to stay sane by working out and lifting some weights. But banana, see you guys at the post-workout meal. We are back from the gym, super simple session, 2 pull downs, 1 row, 1 bicep curl, all seated to watch for the hernia, which once again is like, it's in this area, so I don't think I'll ever actually show you guys. Maybe if I do have like a cool scar from surgery or something. But right now, the biggest thing is keeping things stable, trying to not brace as much and have that like basically that hernia extend or pop out, which obviously I don't have any discomfort or anything like that, which is great. But real quick, we have our post-workout meal right here. We're doing 2 scoops of our transparent labs. This is the milk chocolate. As I always say, milk chocolate and dark chocolate are my 2 favorite flavors, as well as my family. So it's not just my taste preferences, but Katie's, my brother Sam, my brother Ben, and my dad all like the dark chocolate the most. They also are okay with milk chocolate, or they'll like use it, but they prefer dark chocolate. So basically, milk chocolate and dark chocolate is all we have stocked up and what I hook them up with. We're also taking our creatine. So taking this still 5 grams, whether I'm cutting, whether I'm bulking, maintaining, not working out, 5 grams of creatine every single day. It is like the one supplement I recommend for everyone. And luckily, my dad and some of his friends, they're in their like late 50s, early 60s, they're all now taking creatine too, because there's some studies that show it might help with cognitive benefits or a cognitive function. So they start taking creatine. I'm like, yeah, like jump on it. Like there's no reason not to take 5 grams of creatine every single day. Then we also have a little bit of cheese. This is Parmesan Reggiano cheese, serving and a half there, and 1 Honeycrisp apple, the best apple in the game. And this macro, or the macros of this meal, come out to be, oops, whoa, where'd that go? Okay, here we are. So yeah, 2 scoops of protein in water, 1 apple, Parmesan cheese, comes out to be 464 calories. It is 32 grams of carbs, only 9 grams of fat, and 69 grams of protein. That's a post-workout meal. I pretty much just walked for a while as well after and before my workout to get my steps in. We're gonna head back to the computer and I'll see you guys. We're gonna cook up a steak tonight because I got some steaks at the grocery store, as you guys saw in the grocery haul. If you haven't seen the grocery haul, go check that out. That's where I'm basically basing my entire meal off of, or my entire day of eating off of. So yeah, gonna down this, get back to the desk, do some computer, some more calls, check-ins, and I'll see you guys at dinner. Time has come for dinner. I actually don't need the vent on just quite yet, but I'll go ahead and turn that on as soon as we start cooking. So we have our grass-fed ribeye steak from Trader Joe's. Comes out to be, let's see, 10 ounces, I think, right? Oh yeah, there it is. I was like, I know it's somewhere. 10 ounces ribeye steak right here. This has been resting for about 30 minutes just in the room temperature. Pulled it out of the fridge about 30 minutes ago. Now it's time to dry this bad boy off, pat it dry, add in our salt, or cover it in salt, both sides, and then go ahead and try to give that a nice little sear. If you guys do remember the summer shredding series, which I guess like it's kind of over, kind of not. Yeah, I mean, summer's almost over anyways. But during the summer shredding series, I could not perfect the steak. And I think I figured it out. The problem is, in this apartment, we don't have good ventilation. We actually don't have any like windows or doors we can open to the outside. So if I heat it up too much as far as like the pan and the oil, and then try to get a really good sear, like I think I need to, in order for it to get that perfect sear and that crisp, it just basically like I'm worried I'm gonna set off a fire alarm and just gonna create just like so much smoke in here. So I do kind of have to play around with a little bit of the heat to try to make it not super smoky, to the point where once the fire alarm goes off or I can't even see or breathe in here. So it's kind of balancing out the two as far as the high heat pan, but also not causing too much smoke. But I'm gonna go ahead, if I film the process, it always makes it way harder. When Katie's here, maybe we'll have her help me. But basically what I'm gonna do, we're gonna pat the steak dry, add a bunch of salt to it, get that pan nice and hot, it's already warming up, add a little bit of avocado oil, not olive oil, avocado oil, which is I guess a higher smoke point oil. So add a little bit of this into the pan, let that get warmed up, and then add our steak in and probably do about 1:30 to 2 minutes aside. Still trying to figure out that exact temperature. Otherwise, that is the process. I would be really stressed out and think I'd mess things up if I try to film it as I cooked it. So I'm gonna go ahead and just show you guys, hopefully, a great steak in the final product. Also, I'm gonna munch on some carrots. You guys probably can't see these carrots and blueberries, but I'll pull those aside, show you guys the final meal, as well as the macros, obviously a full day of eating, things like that. So let's get to cooking. Our steak is now done cooking. We've got it on the cutting board resting. I don't know if you guys can see how smoky it is. I can't really tell. Oh yeah, you can see how smoky it is. It is very smoky in here, hence why I got a little bit of a good char and some nice little brown bits, which I forget what that's called when there's like actually some browning, somebody's gonna correct me in the comments. It's something with an M. Gosh, I can't remember exactly what it is, but yeah, that's kind of what we want. We want a little bit of a char, we want some brown bits, things like that. And yeah, as you can see, it got very smoky in here. Luckily, no fire alarm, but I kind of got concerned. I even turned the heat down a little bit. I was like, if this keeps smoking like this, I feel like the fire alarm's gonna go off. But I do turn the air on, so the central air is on, which is unfortunate because it's actually right on the steak. I actually don't want the cold air on the steak. But this is gonna be our final meal. We have blueberries, carrots, and a steak. That is as simple as it gets, right? Pretty much all single ingredient foods, steak, carrots, blueberries, and then I'll go ahead and let the steak rest, cut into it. But in the meantime, so as far as you guys can see here, so 10-ounce ribeye steak with a little bit of butter added in and a little bit of basting, so I will count that into the calories. We have a ton of blueberries here. This is, I think, around 400 grams of blueberries. I didn't measure out exactly, but typically it's around 400 grams that fills that up. And carrots, not exactly sure. I'm just gonna munch on those, pretty much very low calorie. I'm gonna eat a little bit more if I have to, or if I want to. This meal comes out to be 995 calories. It is, let's see, 37 grams of carbs, 71 grams of fat, and 52 grams of protein. The fat content being very high between the butter. Obviously, the ribeye steak is one of the fattier steaks. So if you go like a New York strip, a filet, things like that, they'll be a little bit leaner. But the reason I like the ribeye so much is because of how fatty it is. I'm gonna let that cool off for a little bit more, or rest, I should say, as the steak connoisseurs say. I'm gonna go ahead and dig in. Oh, and I'll actually full macros. The total calories for the entire day come out to be 2,106 calories, 116 grams of carbs, 116 grams of fat, then 160 grams of protein, which is my goal. So everything, once again, the ribeye being very high in fat, as well as the butter that was cooked in. If I went with like a lean ground beef, my protein would be higher, my fats would be a little bit lower, but I'm okay with this because my goal was 160 grams of protein, which we hit on the dot, and then around 2,000 calories. Today it ended up being 2,100, close enough, and I already got my 10,000 steps for the day. So good day so far. Still have a little bit more work to do. It is just after 5:47, but Katie's out of town, no plans. So typically when I don't have any plans, Katie's not in town, I'll just go ahead and work until later in the evening just because there's always something to do. But once the steak is done resting, I'll cut it open and show you guys what we're working with. It's time for the moment of truth. We get to cut open our steak and see how we did. It might be a little hard to show you guys, but I'll get a little bit closer and I can go ahead and pull up a piece, but I'm just gonna cut right down the middle. Okay, maybe a little bit overdone. See, it's always so hard. I think most people are gonna be like, that's overdone, but let's see if I can show you guys a little bit closer. Oh no, I'm dripping all over the place. But that is the final product. Once again, sear, so-so. Inside, I would say it's probably closer to medium than medium rare if I had to guess. Obviously, all steak connoisseurs, go ahead, comment down below, let me know. I'm okay with it. I think it's gonna be pretty good. Let's go ahead and take a bite. I did drop a little bit of butter, but let's see. Still tastes really damn good. So that is the final product. Once again, let me know in the comments if it's medium, medium rare, maybe medium well. I don't think it is because like there's definitely some pink on the inside, and I feel like if I leave it out longer than a half hour, it's always pink on the inside. If I don't leave it out of the fridge for a half hour, it's sometimes more red on the inside. So I think, once again, I'm still no steak connoisseur. I'm still an absolute newbie and rookie. I'm cooking a steak maybe like every 2 weeks, so still have a long way to go. But I will say, nothing beats a ribeye. But without further ado, that is a wrap on the full day of eating, right? That's a clean up diet. I think what, 4 meals or 3 meals in the banana? Fairly straightforward. Protein sources, fruits, vegetables. That's pretty much all we got going on. Obviously lots of healthy fats as well. I have nothing else. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. See you guys next time. Peace.